Hey everyone, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So I am coming on here for an impromptu reading on something very deep. So I feel like my eyesight, like I'm looking at my kind of what you guys can see, but I feel like I need to look down here. Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So we'll see how this looks. But I feel like I needed to have my face on here this time around because I feel like what I do is I typically do readings for the collective and also for celebrities. All of us are a part of the collective, and I feel like today is the perfect day to touch base with something a special viewer of mine has requested quite some time ago. So a couple of months back, I got like a list. I've had a list of things to talk about with you guys for quite some time, and I've been working through them little by little, taking my time, making sure the readings that I do are actually like the best output of my energy. And I finally feel like today is a good day to start on talking about love in the collective. So this is something that never goes away. It's something that never ends. It's something that we all experience as human beings, is love. Or at least that's what we pursue, is the idea and the notion of love. And I feel like it never gets old, and thus becomes something that we talk about, and something we integrate a lot in communication. So we talk about relationships all the time in collective readings. We talk about relationships in the collective and with celebrities a lot in these readings, because I do these readings a lot because I have the curiosity as well. What is going on between these two people that we look at every day or we see on the news? Like, what's going on behind closed doors, in a sense? Like, is what we see really what's going on, or is it something else? Is there more to the story? I feel like I'm always wondering, because I like to know the truth of a situation rather than what everyone else is supposed to see. So a lot of people that see my content agree with that and feel the same way. They feel like they want to know the nitty-gritty, or like at least the truth of a situation. Are these two people together? Is this PR? This is why the question comes up so constantly in the collective. It's like, is this truly what's going on? Is this person true to me? Are they lying to me? Are they cheating on me? Are they in their heart? Because you can't see their heart, right? You can't see who this person is. Are they true? So I want to look at love on the collective level, because I feel like it comes up in readings anyway, but I feel like it's a deep, deep, deep topic that I really wanted to kind of settle into and actually like take and ingest, because I feel like it's not something you can rush. So this is going to be quite the reading. This is going to be a reading that's going to take some time, potentially. We'll see how information comes through. This might be something that's a series, So I feel like my mind is like racing. It's like thinking of ways in which we can talk and address and tackle this subject. So let's just start. Spirit team, spirit guides, and for those that are watching this video, those past, present, and future that come across my content, those that are open and willing to hear what I am saying today and what I need to say to the collective, please assist me in speaking to them. I'm hearing other one. Like, I think the concept of people thinking, is there another one? Is this the one? Is there another one that's out there for me that's better? It's like always thinking like, I want to make sure I'm getting the best of the best. I feel like the concept of other, like, is there someone else, comes into the focus of the collective often, because I'm just hearing other one, 7. And for some reason 7 is divine timing, is how I understand divine timing, and we're seeing soulmates. And to be fair, the notion of soulmates is interesting in the collective. I've noticed this with my channel. When I say soulmate, some people think, well, that's definitely not their soulmate. Like, what are you talking about? And they think to themselves, and that's okay, right? Think to themselves, one person in the world is your soulmate. That is all there is. There's no one else that complements you as a person. And I feel like that actually is what interesting. I'm hearing it's a gateway to a conversation. It's a gateway to a deeper lesson in understanding what it is about one. Like, why are you guys all about the singularity? I'm hearing singularity complex of things, like one person. And if I lose this person, it's over for me. Like, life ends. And I'm laughing and smiling, but it's like the chuckles are very like there's a tinge of sadness to them, because I feel like there's a lot of animosity towards people that are dating certain people in the public, and then towards who you date in your family, like how people perceive that person. And this is just an example of like how people can really get so focused on their perception of who is right for you, and that it's one person or that it's someone else. It's someone else from the person you're with. So if you guys understand that, please like, share, and subscribe. I mean, this information, I feel like there's a number of people that are meant to see this video that will really understand what I'm talking about here. So, other 1, 7. There may be 7 for a number of people. Like, the number 7 is significant. If you guys can look up the numerology of that for you, it came out in this reading for a reason. Please let me know. I will look it up later, but I want to make sure I'm continuing on this string of channeling and not getting lost in the sauce, lost in the minute things, the details. I can always look back on details, but the bigger picture is what matters here most. Other time. And I'm hearing other time, another time. So there's a lot of people in the collective that have been in relationships or have been open to people in relationships where the person comes across your path and you guys know that it was meant to be, that it was serendipity, that it was a miracle that you guys came together, and that you guys are like truly healing and you truly are like understanding life in a deeper way, and that person ends up passing you by, or that person ends up moving on to another road, and you're thinking, maybe another time. I'm hearing an other time, like as if there's a lot of people on in this timeline in 2023 in this life that are currently seeing people on their trajectory that they met many times, and they're coming by and passing by them, and they feel like it's the sadness, the regret of feeling like they lost something because it didn't work out and it didn't last. But they didn't lose anything truly. They actually just are experiencing what they needed to in this time. I'm hearing this time is sadness, so that they can understand something else for the next course of life or the next stage of life. So don't feel like you are, it's like the sense of like feeling the weightiness of a relationship that hit you by surprise or triggered some response in you, whether it be traumas, whether it be triggers, whether it be understanding things in a new way, lessons learned through these people coming through into your life. These people were meant to trigger you to show you something bigger, and then they were meant to move forward and to transition on. And it's interesting, I'm getting so many things. Transition is also feeling like when someone moves on from this life to the next as well, like when someone passes away. So I'm feeling like I'm talking to people who have experienced either a funeral recently with a loved one, or this is someone who has passed on that you still think about from day to day, or occasionally they'll come into your mind and you'll think, wow, that person that I met. I'm hearing we, so it could be like a family member. This person that came into our life, they came and they left. And this could be an in-law as well for someone. Came and they left. And it's like the sadness of knowing they're no longer like here. Transitory is what I'm hearing a lot. Just a lot of transitory relationships, like things happening for a moment in order for you to understand something bigger and to move forward. And you feeling like you lost something, but you never lost anything in that situation. Let's look at what 3 cards came through. If you guys notice that I'm looking off, it's because channeling is something that channeling is something that I'd rather do completely or as well as I can, and it means looking at other objects so that my mind can kind of wander where my spirit team is going. So if you guys notice my eyes looking around, I'm not nervous like looking at you guys. If I could figure the damn like angle, like where I'm supposed to look, I would, but I feel like I need to let you guys know channeling sometimes is easier that way when I look around. And that is also why I don't show my face. It's because why show your face when you can just give the information? So the information's coming through my mouth. So I wanted to show you guys the first card. So Spirit's talking about the collective pilgrimage. This is something I talk about. This is why I named my website The Collective Pilgrimage. I feel like we're all going into these transitory states where we're always becoming someone else, like not someone else like a specific person, but you're becoming more of who you are on your path. You're going through new constantly. And as we're approaching the new year, I can see why Spirit's telling me to do this right now, because I feel like you guys are going into this big new life, and there's a course that you're going to be focusing on. There's like the next couple of years from now until 2027, they're telling me is very significant for the people that see this message. So 2024 to 2027, guys, you look out, because there's something about that. And then now I'm seeing the number 6. So there's something about 6 months, something big coming into your life starting in 2024, because 6 months from now would be like June, end of May or June. So expect something for you guys. I'm just getting messages coming out from left and right, so I'm trying to grab these and try to tell you what I'm saying. But I'm seeing that, and I also wanted you guys to understand that new life is something on a collective scale that we're addressing. New relationships. If you guys are noticing people going into new all the time, there's something to this card that I need to talk about. Let's get into that. What about new life, Spirit team, are you trying to talk about? This is for the collective scale of love. Okay, 8 of Swords, the Hermit, and the 4 of Wands. Damn. You guys, so they're talking about... You ever feel forced in a situation in life? Do you feel forced when you wake up in the morning and you're going to work and you're getting ready to go get your money or get stuff right? Do you ever feel like you're just stuck, like like this is what you have to do, your hands are tied, you have to go about this way? It's interesting. Love is coming through like that. That a number of you guys, and in like with celebrities and such from the past, like their past relationships, their past energies, a lot of them felt like they got into those relationships that you're seeing with them, like the long-term relationships, for instance. I'm seeing, like, it's interesting how they show me faces. I'm thinking of a couple. For some reason, Leonardo DiCaprio is coming up, and he's not married. He might be in a relationship, but he's not married. For some reason, he's coming into the forefront of this. In regards to this 8 of Swords, feeling stuck and feeling tied down, or feeling like you feel like you're trying to be free in the midst of feeling like you have to do X, Y, or Z as a person of your age, of your caliber, of your demographic, of your profession. Feeling like he was in this energy at one point, and many people were in his age range. However old Leo DiCaprio is, I'm talking to those people that were born in that time frame when he was born. Something about feeling stuck and tied down to certain ways of living, and feeling like you had to do it a certain way, and that was the way to do it. That was the best way. That was the best course of action. Feeling stuck and tied down. A number of those people, you'll notice, are dating people younger, because they're feeling like the energy of that generation, of feeling tied down or feeling constricted, feeling like you had to do things in a certain way to be appropriate. I'm hearing appropriate with like the quotations. There's this energy of new life coming in for those people that seemed like they were happy in their relationships, but truly weren't, because they were kind of closed into feeling like this is the best of what life has for me in this life, in this season, like this year. You're noticing a lot of people in that age range branching away or leaving or moving into and transitioning into relationships with people that are younger, because they express something on a collective level with regards to questioning authority, questioning society, questioning values, questioning modes of believing. There's a lot going on energetically with the people that are born, and I'm hearing Pluto and Sagittarius. So the people that are born in that year, that time frame, okay? Personally, I'm Pluto and Scorpio. So Scorpio, from Scorpio on, Pluto and Scorpio peeps on, there's been like this exposure to the way things are and how we live. And love has been assessed very heavily in this time frame. So you'll notice that as well. 8 of Swords moving into the Hermit, guys. Insight, intuition, acknowledgement of something deeper, a deeper topic. When you shine the light on something, it's not so scary anymore. that notion of love and of thinking that it has to come in one way. You meet this person as a virgin, you fall in love with them in your high school years, you get married, or you're a virgin when you're in like college, or you're going into your career path, you're in school, you're in that standardized education type setting, you fall in love with someone who works middle class, and this notion is coming to mind and recollection of people feeling like they had to live life one way with love, or they had to expect X, Y, or Z one way with love, and now they're starting to see, well, what was on the outskirts that people kind of hated and were looked at in disdain, now they're looking at it differently. Interesting how society works, right? So that used to be the perception of what successful relationships were. You getting to know a person before you let them get in your pants, before you like give them anything. Women specifically, the roles within gender roles and such. There's something being triggered with how it's changed so quickly, isn't it? So there's this energy of feeling closed up, a generation of people from, I think, from the 60s, 70s till now, that time frame, feeling closed off and not feeling admired for who they were, but more so what they could do and how they could benefit others in society. Now they're opening up to this internal light and understanding love. And I think what's happening is that whenever something is so like clear cut, there's always this generation that comes in to shake things up and to change the perception, and it can be so extreme that you're like, what the hell is happening? I feel like that's happening in this situation with love on a collective scale. The perception of love and how you acquire it, what it looks like, what it sounds like, what it acts like. People are questioning that a lot more. So I'm just getting that energy. And then the last card we have is the Four of Wands. Marriage itself is being assessed. The union, what you unite yourself to, is being assessed. Uniting with yourself rather than with society's norms or society's understanding, like what society admires about us, right? Interesting to think of society as a person. There's a lot of information coming through. Let's keep going. Spirit team. Bottom of the deck, by the way, was the Queen of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. Delving into the unknown on a collective scale is happening. People are questioning the people that they may come across, the potential, the hypothetical. The hypothetical has become so encroaching on people to where it's almost like you can't breathe. Your anxiety hits the roof, it hits the ceiling, where you feel like you don't know what's out there, and then you hold yourself to a standard until you get to that hypothetical thing. It's interesting. That's coming through in this reading. So love, like you saying, okay, there's better, because you don't want to be that person back in the day that would take what they could get. Like if that one person came into your life and you had a soul connection with them, it didn't matter who else came into your life. It was you and them. Now people are looking at all of the other factors and like thinking like there's 10, there's 20 different soulmates. Oh my God. Like, is this enough for me? Not feeling like it's enough. Not wanting to be stuck, wanting to be tied down, not wanting to be blinded by anything, wanting to see everything in the age of technology and information, feeling like you need to know every and anything before you make a decision, thus taking all of the time that you are taking to make that decision. Thus, the age range for people actually settling down going up. There's this energy of like feeling like there's so much, and it's understandable given the way we've gone in with society, with technology, the expansion of our minds, of being able to acquire all this information and data. We feel like love is the same way. Love is becoming something that's very it's definitely not becoming more spiritual in a sense, on an aggregate scale. there's this thing where there's two now. There's two poles. One's like the spiritual aspect of love, the mushy, the feelings, the intuitive senses with regards to love. And then there's this very like on paper, let me apply for this relationship type energy of like taking out everything, every emotion, every intuitive sense about a person and looking at what they provide on paper. So interesting energies. It's become two poles now rather than just confusion everywhere. We're trying to find simplicity in this, I'm hearing, in this external world. We're trying to find a way to know when someone's lying. How can we find out? How can we look up this person's stuff to know he's not cheating on us? How can we look into all of the stats? How can we look them up and see their background information to see and make sure that this person is who they said that they are? The energy of like feeling left out in the dark and needing to find out, hey, like, is this person true? Is this person true and exact? So it's interesting where they're taking me. They're taking me into this new life where now you have a choice. You wake up in the morning and now you can choose to either look at world from the standpoint of, let's look at it intuitively, let's look at it spiritually, let's look at it from a feeling standpoint, where we don't have walls or barriers surrounding what the person looks like, what they do for a living, a number of things. And then we have this like dramatic other side of the story where people are looking at love as on paper, where I feel like a lot of the PR relationships are stemming from, because it feels like it's a matter of what works for them in their time frame, like what will bring them the most engagement, popularity, which will bring them the best friends or the most opportune people in their life, so that they can do something like a new movie role or different things like that. Timothée Chalamet, Kylie Jenner vibes. I'm just giving that as an example based on my readings of them. There's way more to them than that, but that's definitely an energy that I get from them. The energy of success. Let's just bring our successes together. It's not really a chemical or chemistry type relationship. So you're seeing like those two poles, right? And some of you guys are in the middle. You see the value of both. But something about those two is very important. Jay-Z and Beyonce, like, where do you see them on that pole? Do you think that they're more of an intuitive couple in the sense that they're like more so like spiritually like attuned together, united? Do they seem like they somehow meld the two of that and also of the like logistics, like, hey, we met at an opportune time, like this is what we decided to do, it works for us, let's build an empire off of that? Page of Swords is coming through. Page of Swords energy is usually like contracts, okay? Starting out a relationship with contracts. Interesting. I'm hearing also starting out as roommates. Like someone here started out as a roommate with the person that they're interested in or indecisive about. I'm getting love information for specific people. You kind of came into the whole thing with like a very like logical way of seeing things. You might be an earth sign, and then like you kind of like are now feeling like they balance you out and they help you out physically, financially, with where you guys are living. You guys intuitively feel like you guys came and were drawn together. The devil energy, Capricorn. Someone's a Capricorn here specifically that's listening. Interesting. I'm just getting heartbreak for that relationship, feeling like that that person was like a roommate for you. It was a contract. I don't want to get too much into someone's specifics here, because that's what's happening. Spirit team, why is new life here? What other things can we glean from this, Emperor? Everyone's trying to be in this energy. This energy is also being assessed on a collective scale, masculine energy, of what we embody. A lot of people would say that masculine energy has been expressed throughout history for all time, and it has been the energy that has taken the forefront or it's been the one to gloat about. Like, I got this job, I acquired this, I made this happen in my strength, I did X, Y, and Z, I executed a goal and it came through for me. I'm hearing executed it wisely. Like, some people are really like strategic thinkers, and the people that are listening to this reading. And like, that's amazing, right? But I feel like the feminine is not as expressed, and it still isn't. For some reason, even if you were to switch genders, like to say like, it's just interesting how this is coming through. It's like you're seeing more of the masculine energy in women more than the men now. Now you're seeing the masculine expressed very strongly in the women, and then more of the feminine, but not like the real, not as strongly as you want it to be. So it's like there's a switch now in this generation. There's a switch in energies. Now, because of how unkiltered masculine and feminine energies are, you're seeing it switch in genders. The whole idea and concept of genders is being completely like opened up to you guys with the Seven of Cups options. The illusions are being addressed. Every single curtain that you guys felt like you didn't know what was going on behind it, you're getting access to it. And now you have a wealth of information. What are you going to do with that? Love. What does it do to love, right? The person that you've been with, especially if you were with that person back in the day. How are you like now seeing love in the sense of like, you still care about this person that you're with. You still care about the interest you had in love in the past. But now people are questioning you and saying, well, why do you feel that way? Why are you attracted to only white women? Why are you only attracted to black men? Why are you only attracted to people who are cis, heteronormative in that realm? Like, why only straight people? Why only this? Now you're starting to like feel like you're open. You're not like able to close off or to ignore the information, the Seven of Cups, the information that's coming to you, the cups that you can take. What are you going to choose? It's doing something to relationships. Everything's so new. Do you guys have time to really sit down and enjoy it? Someone on Twitter actually said something, and I feel like Spirit's bringing me back to that, where they were saying, you have so many things on your plate. How are you able to taste it? Like, how are you able to enjoy it when you're imbibed and you're just imbued with all of this stuff around you, like work 9 to 5, then coming home, taking care of your kids, taking care of anything else, your pets, taking care of your damn self, and then you have to think about love. Like, love has been taking a burner for people and energetically in the collective, and it's like you have to really put the energy forward to get that, to get something out of it. And I feel like that's coming up in this reading. So you guys feeling like, okay, there's so many opportunities for love, but like I have so many things to look into. There's so much information out there now. Like, now it becomes overwhelming for a lot of people to think and to focus in on love. So if you're noticing the distance with relationships, it's because of the modes of thinking. The way that two people grow can be together or it can be separate. And even if you guys love each other a lot, soul connections are being tested, because now your way of thinking and your way of evolving is shifting. Are you willing to go with them? Are you like agreeing with them on what they feel and think? Because things are becoming more like pulled. Very extreme. Democrat, liberal, conservative, leftist, or whatever, right? I don't even know what the fuck. Okay. I don't even really want to get into that, but like, I just want you guys to see how divided everything is now in the mode of information. There's so much now that you have to choose because you don't have time. You guys, if you understand what I'm saying, please let me know in the comments below. But like, choosing a person, even for the elections, like choosing the person, you don't even spend much time looking into them. All you hear is propaganda about them, and you make your decision based on a couple of things. But you didn't have time to sit there and do a lot of things to look into that person most of the time. Most people, this is general, the public, most people just go for rhetoric. So with love, are you going for rhetoric? Like what people write on paper and saying, I rest my case, you're this, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, you're this, because you don't like X, Y, or Z. Or are you going into those like thin, like grouping people basically and compartmentalizing as a means to understanding the world, because it's just too damn hard to understand it anymore? That's the energy I'm getting right now. New life. There's so much new. There's so much newness to life right now. So much abundance coming in. You guys are going to see the abundance very soon. Anywho, milk and honey is the next one. Damn. Milk and honey 51 is coming through. Some of you might be 51 as well. I'm getting the energy of just a lot of new. Look how milk and honey and empress are at the bottom of the deck. So there's a lot more to abundance that people are seeing now that are bringing these gaps, and these are bringing these like dissolutions of relationships, dissolutions of marriages and such like that, because now they're looking at things from another perspective. They're seeing things on other timelines as well, because it's like the relationships, it's like you get triggered to do, you meet someone, right, that you're really close to, that you're really like drawn to, and you think it has to be forever. And I think we're learning the transitory nature of relationships, and that you may be disappointed that it didn't work out. You may be disappointed that you couldn't bridge a certain gap with them, but the relationship was still inspiring to you. It led you to act. It still brought you out of a lot of traumas, triggers. Your inner child was still healing in the midst of that relationship, and especially because of that relationship. And you received a lot of intel, a lot of support, a lot of generosity from your guides, from your spirit team, and from that person that you met. Okay, you can look at that and be confident in what was produced, collective. What was produced was actually something that was deliberately done. It's like it took time to get to the place that you are in this moment, today, December 28th, 2023, or wherever you see this and whenever you see it. It took time to get to where you currently are right now, and you should be proud of that and look at it fondly, not look at it like, did I do the best that I could do? Move forward. A lot of people are moving out of a relationship because it had a timeline. Now the constructs and societal the constructs of relationships, and how they were meant to be like that one person for the rest of your life. Now that that's shifted, you're noticing people growing in different ways because they're not staying in relationships for the sake of that. And I wonder if we should look at this negatively fully, or if we should look at this with an open mind. I feel like a lot of people need to open up their perspective in order to see the use and the beauty of multiple relationships throughout your life, and not condemning that. Moving forward. Okay, someone here specifically with three children that coming through. Singleness. A lot of people are becoming single in order to understand and acquire the information that they need, or the lessons that they need to learn. These pentacles remind me of of lessons learned in relationships. I feel like people are beginning to see the opportune time. Jupiter is very significant right now. Where is Jupiter right now, I wonder? If you guys know, please, whenever you see this, that is that's important for you to know. When Jupiter, whatever planet Jupiter, or whatever sign Jupiter is in, I would like you guys to look into that. Opportune timing coming in for you guys. I'm hearing 9/27, so September 27th, or it's just the 27th is significant for someone here. That could be when someone was born. Could be a Libra. Very intuitive. You're moving steadily forward. You're moving slowly but surely. There's something about the collective moving steadily out of a lot of hurtful energies. Very hurtful energies. New life. Out of the Eight of Swords, out of conflicts, mental instability, because it was imposed on you. Specifically the imposed mental conflicts. Finding rest and peace. Okay, a lot of people are really desiring peace. And that being their success, not just their career path, but like actually feeling at peace with themselves. Or feeling like they can rest, you know. A lot of relationships, collective, they didn't get much time resting with each other. If you look at like celebrities, if you look at just relationships around you, your family, there's not a lot of opportunity to really like fight back any like negative self-talk or negative feelings towards a person. I find that when you're busy, you tend to try to keep them at bay, the negative thoughts or the feelings towards someone, the hurt that you acquired from your partner, and you're not actually addressing it and saying like, oh wait, like we need to actually talk through this and get to the bottom of this. You usually don't even have the time to find it, to get to the bottom of it, to move quickly, to take the opportune time to address that and assess it. So time is of the essence. I think the collective is coming to a place of recognition that time is of the essence, and that what are you spending your time on? Like, what are you spending your time on? Are you spending it on you? Are you spending it on the projections that you want to have and throw to people in order to feel successful, or to feel validated, or to feel like you're doing what everyone else has told you to do? Are you spending your time really going deep and really understanding your love, the people around you, and the love that people have for you, and how they treat you and how you want to be treated? I feel like that's coming through. Like, that's a big thing that people need to assess with love on a collective scale. Communication, definitely. I feel like people are not speaking truly from their hearts. Some people, there's an energy of like just talking fast, saying what people want you to say. Saying your piece is very important. Something about saying your piece, that is where your abundance lies, collective. Saying your piece and letting go of this freaking burden. Moving on, transitioning out, and giving yourself a cup. Like letting yourself feel love, like to feel true love. And true for you, because Seven of Cups is coming through, which is giving me the energy of like it not being what people are throwing at you or telling you to think, but what you truly think about it. And letting it evolve as you evolve. Because they're all like it's like a spectrum, okay? The understanding of love that we all have. It's like a spectrum. We're making progress slow and steady as a collective, and I'm proud of that. I'm honestly happy to hear that. Let's look at the next card. We have the Fates. This is number 17, Star card, or like the star in the tarot. Healing on a grand scale. Why is the Fates here? Queen of Pentacles. Feeling rich, feeling generous. Okay, generosity in the collective is really important. I feel like people are coming up. The energy that's coming through is conflict in the collective with love. Conflict between partners. A lot of conflict has been happening between partners. I can attest to that. Are you guys feeling that? Like, you feel like you're always like finding you're at odds with someone, or you're at odds with the people closest to you? Meaning like constantly, not like just like, oh yeah, like we had a fight, we're family. I get that. We're husband and wife, we fight sometimes. I get that. I'm talking about consistent battles. Like, you guys are having these battles and it feels like it's coming from something external. Like you guys are feeling like the surrounding circumstances of life, like either working too hard, not talking to each other enough, not communicating enough. You're feeling like other factors are at play, and they're affecting the relationship. Sometimes it could just be external factors, and it doesn't have to be that the person's an asshole. It could just be that you guys are not listening to each other. You're talking at each other. You're not truly receiving information. You're not truly receiving or seeing the generosity of life, like the abundance that life has for you, and you feel like you don't deserve either information from this person. You feel like they have their own thing going, we're dating, they don't have to tell me this and that, but you truly want to know. Holding back because it's some tactical way of addressing a partner, or it's some tactical way of looking independent, when in reality you really want all of what they, you want this information, you want to open up and share what you really feel. Something about like people not being afraid of looking weak, that's coming through, and that's feeling like the masculine energy I talked about. You guys can feel what you feel on that. Any projections, I return all of the evil eye, all of the negativity tenfold. But it's coming through that way, and Spirit's trying to talk about it's fated. The healing process has to occur in the collective, and you're seeing it with celebrities for a reason, because a lot of them are going through these power dynamics where they're looking at their power and they're seeing if they're truly feeling like their abundance is important to the other person. Like, am I being truly honored in this relationship, and vice versa? Are you being honored? Same with, sexual interests and such like that. I feel like feeling the abundance and feeling honored and feeling even worshipped, both of you, like each other, feeling like you guys can actually like enjoy all of who you are. Are you letting your other partner see all of who you are, or were you not able to see that. The climate that we're in right now is forcing people to see something in the other person that they didn't want to see, because now it's open. Now people are accepting of that other part of them, or that other interest and inclination, and now they're feeling like they don't know who they're with, but that was in them. Okay, and that's a big thing that I think is coming through in this reading. Strength. Leo energy, strength, like determination to find and to understand other people, to understand others, to understand your partner. I feel like that's something that's key in relationships, and I feel like some people are not willing to do that yet. They're too stubborn. You're seeing that in the collective, in celebrities specifically, the stubbornness of not wanting to relent to something that's not good for them, or something that's not beneficial to the relationship. Wheel of Fortune, the Lovers, the Two of Wands, looking elsewhere. Wheel of Fortune, right? Bridging the gap between two people. The Lovers has been coming out off and on, like pretty often. Two of Wands. I'm hearing make sense of it. Like on a collective scale, people are trying to make sense of what they've acquired and what they have in their partner long term. Let's look at healing messages. We have grounding. A lot of people need to get grounded on the collective scale. Grounding will help you. I feel like what's happening is we're so busy in this day and age that we don't treat our bodies well enough. We don't treat our mind well enough. We don't allow ourselves to truly care for every part of us. And grounding, we tend to false ground with like food, certain people in our life, certain drugs, and we're not actually like really grounding with pure of anything, like pure foods, like pure weed or anything like that. Like the actual components that you're looking for, you're getting a whole bunch of shit that you don't need. I'm getting like that there's a lot of like junk that people are trying to get through in the collective with regards to love. The person that they trust, like there's a lot of junk that they need to get through, and they haven't been able to get through because it's accumulated when you're busy. We're just too busy. That seems to be the biggest thing in this collective reading. Anyways, too damn busy, guys. Psychic development is coming up. Seeing things for what they are. Not being afraid of what you see and what you feel and what you're thinking. This is including in your interactions sexually, like your interests, what those interests were for a long ass time. There's a lot of people that were interested in someone of the same sex that were dating or married to someone of the opposite sex, and we're hiding that, or we're not talking about that, or we're trying to recluse, or not recluse, or just to push it down. Religion has some part to play with that in some way as well, culturally. There's a lot to unpack with this reading. Jesus. Slow and steady. Anyway, so slow and steady. There's just a lot of information that's coming fast, and I think it's overwhelming for so many people, and that's why you're seeing people break up. They just can't take it. The shift seems too fast, too quickly. It's happening too quickly for people. The ascension process is going way too quick for some people. It's too obvious. Okay. So my camera overheated, so I'm just gonna wrap it up for this portion, and we're gonna see what happens, what questions you guys have, move forward, and see if we can do like a series here. So slow and steady. I think something's trumping the slow and steady. A lot of people were willing to do it slow and steady, but now with the age of information, the amount of information we're accumulating, look at this tree. It's like there's so many things being mapped out, so many things being put together, connecting for people. It's happening too fast for a lot of people, and that's why there's some disintegrations. I'm hearing disintegrations of relationships. We have forgiveness, feminine energy. The feminine energy needs to forgive, and that's what I think is producing dissolutions of relationships. The feminine energy is what keeps things together, guys. The feminine energy does so much, and people do not recognize it as well as they should. I'm going to say that again. The feminine energy needs to be expressed and is not being expressed in the way that is healthy and the way that is it's intended to be. It's not working out. I just really think that's the focus. That's the focus of this reading, is forgiving. The feminine energy needs to forgive for all of I'm hearing the manifestations of stuff that have been portrayed the way it was portrayed for so long. The misunderstanding with feminine energy and its power and its prowess. And forgiving the masculine energy for being hyper fixated, like people hyper fixating on the masculine energy and not giving it its shine, its lane, its way of integrating everything out. We have a lot to work on with that. Abundance will be found in that. That is why the Empress card is a female or feminine energy. Abundance is found in the feminine, and I feel like that's what's not being expressed, and that's why so many relationships are going through this right now. So let's go into the entity. What is this entity? Okay, with regards to the negative response, or the negative the way we see relationships right now, and how people are breaking up and people are leaving each other. We have the Four of Cups, feeling. When you feel overstimulated, guys, a lot of the time you tend to dissociate. This is like a dissociation type energy. Dissociation at its finest is going on here in the collective. We have the Tower moments of not caring anymore. When someone feels like you don't care anymore, they're going to run away. They're like, why? Some people will ask for quite some time, you know, I love you. You're my soulmate. Why are you letting this go? Why are you not focusing on this? Why are you letting them win? And this person has already given up, or at least they're not seeing what they have in front of them. Dissociation, it happens a lot when you're busy, when you're too overwhelmed by the information that you receive. We have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles, friendship, okay? A solid foundation and a partnership with people. You're seeing a lot more friendships and like cultivation of friendships more than you're seeing cultivation of romantic relationships. That's what I've been seeing, and that's what I feel like Spirit's saying here. Wowzers. Let me show you what I got here, guys. We have the King of Wands, okay? The Ten of Pentacles. You get everything that you want, right? A lot of people are looking for like a great career path, a legacy, to be remembered, to be known, to be admired, to be respected. We have, you know, you moving out of conflict, moving away from conflict with whatever you have a conflict with, if it's with relationships, with commitments, longevity and commitments. I'm noticing that a lot of males, specifically masculine energies, you can be a woman, man with masculine energy expressed highly. The masculine energy is currently going through this thing where they have their legacy and they have their career path and they have their money, right, integrated. And now they're saying, I ran away from the fight that love entailed, or what love, I ran away from relationships and such that were distractions for me at the time. And now I'm steadily moving towards them. I'm trying to think and contemplate on them. But there's disappointment there. I'm not getting what I want out of them. I would say to those people, I feel like they're recognizing that soulmates can come in many forms. The notion of love, the notion of the feminine energy, the notion of the way it comes to you. It's not a mistake if it came to you while you're working on your job or working on your career path. How you responded to it said something about your willingness to open up to healing something there. And I feel like people are coming into alignment with their feminine energy more, but you're going to see a lot of dissolution before you see the progression. Moving forward into balancing the two, grounding yourself. Now people are grounding, or actually beginning to look at that. And I feel like that happened during 2020. Feeling like you can actually you have to just be still for a second and let things happen. That's not something we've been doing, okay, in the past. So that energy is coming through. So I'll end it here. We will come back into this again. Please like, share if you liked it and you'd like to share it, of course. Please comment on what you think of this. This is a very deep subject. I don't think it can be something that I do in like one video. So I hope to see you guys again. Please feel free to keep notifications on so that you see when I have my next video posted, but I will see you guys soon.